Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Tony. If you want to highlight certain things in a video, you can do this using a callout title. I've split this video into two parts, and in the first part, we will create, animate, and then save a callout title for future use. In the second part, we'll take a shot and we'll track multiple copies of this callout title to places in the shot. And we're going to do all this using Davinci Resolve on the Fusion page. Okay, so that's set a few things up. Come up here to the media pool and we'll right click here and we'll say new Fusion composition and we'll call this callout and we'll change the duration here to 10 seconds and I'll leave the frame rate at 25 and then click create. Okay, and then we'll grab this one and bring it down here onto a timeline. Okay, and then we can close our media pool. All right, so now we can go into Fusion and we can start creating. All right, so let's first of all add our little kind of dot that appears. All right, so grab a background, we'll connect that up, and then we want to change our background color to white. So come over here, click on this one, and we can go to the last tab where we have pencils, and then I'll click on snow and click on OK. That gives us our white, and we'll rename this as well. We'll call this white dot pg. All right, and to this then we need to add a mask. Okay, so we'll add an ellipse mask. So come up here and select ellipse. Okay, so now obviously we need to change these. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to rename this inner circle. I'm going to do our inner circle first. And then I'll change here the sizing. And we want it to go uniformly. Yeah, so we don't want to do this. So in order to do that, we can right click here on height and go to expression. And then take this kind of pick width here and then just drop it on width. So what that'll do is say that height equals width, so that when we change, it all moves together. So I'm going to change this to 0.025. That gives us our dot. And let's move it then up here to the top of our screen, somewhere like this. Okay, that looks fine. And then we want to duplicate this. So we'll duplicate our background and we'll duplicate our circle here, then we'll merge that in. And now we have two, yeah? So one we're going to have as the background, and one's going to be the outer circle, one will be the inner circle. So let's just rename this outer circle. And then obviously now we need to change some parameters up here again in the inspector. So we'll change our size here. And we'll make it bigger, so I'm going to change this to 38. And then also we want to uncheck this solid, which then gives us just the outline here, like a stroke. And I'll change the border width as well. I'm just going to add a little bit to the end, 0.0021. That gives us then our two circles. Okay, so all we've done here is added a background, added a mask, created our inner circle, duplicated it, and then changed our parameters here for the mask. We've unchecked solid, and then we've altered the border width and our width here, or size. Okay, so now we can animate them. We'll animate our inner circle first, click on our mask, go to frame 0, and I'll animate this level value here. So drop it down to 0, add a keyframe by clicking on this diamond. We'll go forward to frame 5 and we'll take this level all the way up. And then we'll animate our outer circle. So we'll start here on frame 5, take our level down, add a keyframe, and then we'll go to frame 10 and we'll add our level back up, put our level back up to 1. And also here what I want to do is change our width and height. So I'm going to change these to 45 and I'll add keyframes here. And the idea is it kind of comes on, gets too big and then goes back to the right size. So now I'll go to frame 15 and I'll take these back down again to 38. So now if we look at it, comes on and goes back. So all we've done here is we've animated this level value. So it's gone from nothing to the level 1 here on our inner circle. That brings it in. And then we've animated our outer circle, again from nothing. Then we've made it too big. And then we've gone back to our original size here. And this gives this effect of it kind of coming on and then kind of, yeah, popping on, let's say. Okay, let's now add our line. So to do that, we will add a background again. And again, we will make it white. So come over here again. We'll select the pencils and then we'll click on snow and then OK that. Let's merge this in. Okay, and what we're going to do to this to make the line is we're going to add a mask paint. Okay, so to do that, we will do shift and space here, and we'll type in mask, and then we'll come to here where it says mask paint and add it. And what we can do now is use the controls over here on the right. So if we go over to brush controls, we can change our size here and our softness. So I want to take our softness right down to 0.01, and our size I'm going to take down to 0. Maybe not that small, 0.025. And that means now when I draw the line, it won't be really soft and it won't be too big. Okay, and then we can come up here and we can start drawing. But before we do that, we need to change our brush type. So come over here and hover here. It says polyline stroke. So click on this, and then we will use this function to draw our line. So kind of go roughly in the middle here and click, come down here and click, and come over here and click, and that will then give us our straight lines. Yeah. So at the moment it's just on, yeah, all the time, but we want to edit that. Okay. So to edit that, we will go to, let's say, frame 15 here, and we're going to animate here the write on function. Okay, so if I do this, then it writes off. Yeah. So at this point, at frame 15, I'll make a keyframe, and I'm saying basically at that frame, don't be there. And then I'll go to frame 50, and on this frame, I will take this all the way over here. So if we now play back our whole composition, that comes on, the line comes out. Okay, so that's fine. And what I'm going to do now is just change the pacing of this using the spline editor. So we want our original here, we want our two circles to kind of pop on the screen. So go to our inner circle here, we're going to the spline editor. Okay, so we'll just make some more room. I'll drag this up so we can see what we're doing. And we'll start with the inner circle. So click here, and then we will click on this one to fit it. And then we can highlight these using Command or Control A, and then hit S. And now I want to move these points. So I'll highlight this one and then grab this point and move it over here. And then we'll grab this point and we'll move it over here. And then we'll do the same with our outer circle. So again, click here to fit, and we will highlight and smooth by doing Command or Control A and then hitting S. And then again, grab this point and move this point over here, and then grab this one and move it over here. So what we've done here is made the curve non-linear. Okay, so it's kind of gradual now. And then we're also going to do it to the mask paint. So again, we'll click here, highlight, and S to smooth. Grab this point and move it over here. Oops, sometimes it's a bit tricky to get the point. There we go. And then we want to see this point, so we'll turn off this one, and then we can highlight this one. and then bring that over here. And then play this back. Now our line is appearing as well, but in a non-linear way. So it looks a bit more kind of interesting, I think. Okay, so let's now add our boxes. And we'll start with our white box. So again, let's add a background. And then we will connect this up. And then click on the background, go to the inspector, and click on the color, and then select white and OK. And then we'll call this white box. And I will also rename this one. So this I'll just call line. And I'll leave that as mask paint because I understand what it is. And to this white box, let's add a mask. And we will call this white box mask. And now we need to just adjust our sizing. So let's just zoom in a little bit here. And with our white box mask selected, come over to the inspector and we will change the height and the width value here. So let's change the width here to 0.448 and I will change the height here to 0.1. So we have something like this, and then we can position this like this. Okay, good. And now let's go on and create the next box. So we'll duplicate this one. So just copy and paste these two. And let's make some more room here and bring it down. And then we will merge that in. And here this is going to be an orange box. So let's change this to orange. And then we'll change this to orange box mask. Okay, and now let's change our color here. So we want our color for the orange box. So come up here to the color here and let's go. Now I've actually got a color here, which I've already saved. So we can note down the hex value here, so DC7F00, and that gives us our color. So click on OK, and then click on our mask, and we can bring this down then to here. And then what we want to do is to change the size here. So we will adjust our width. So let's bring our width down, and then bring it over here. And maybe let's change our height as well, slightly. Just slightly, just to give it a little difference. Okay. And now we can add our text. So let's add a text node, bring it into the flow, merge it in, and we will call this title, and click on OK. And let's type something in here like callout title, oops, and I'm going to change the font here. I like this font, Bibas Nu, if that's how we say it, I'm not sure. Where is it? Bibas Nu, okay. And then I'll increase the tracking a little bit as well. And then obviously I need to change the color. So let's click in here, go to the pencils here and click on black and OK. And then I will bring this up here. Let's change the size a little bit. And then we'll adjust it somewhere like this. Okay. And I'm going to change maybe... No, actually, I think I'll leave it like that. That's all right. I could, if I wanted to change the color, maybe make it more of a kind of gray so it's not quite as in your face. Okay, that looks all right. Then we'll duplicate this one. And then we'll merge it in, and I'm going to call this one callout title, and then we'll just type in here Tony FX and bring it down, change our size, and maybe I'll make this one white. So again, click in the color and select snow. Okay, good. So that's our text and our boxes. Now, we could actually make this box smaller if we wanted to. So to do that, you just click on the orange box mask, and then you change the width value here. So if we wanted to do that, if we decided only to have it that size, but maybe you want to put longer text in here, so it gives you that option. Okay, now what I want to do is I want my line to end next to this white box. So to do that, go back to the mask paint and click on that, and we'll go to our second keyframe where it ends, and then I'm going to adjust this right on end point here to bring it back. So now when we do it, it'll come on and just go to the end there. Okay, so now what we need to do is to animate our boxes, and then we'll add masks to block out the side of the screen where we want them to come in from. So let's do the orange box first. Let's move this up, add a mask, and this mask we want to put over here on this side of the screen to the right of our orange box, and go to the inspector, and we'll change our paint mode here from merge to subtract. And then let's do the same thing for the white box as well. So click on our white box, add a mask, and then bring this mask over to this side. And then again, change our merge to subtract, from merge to subtract. And let's rename these as well. We're going to call these subtract. Oops. 1, and the other one we will call subtract 2. Okay. All right, so now we can animate these. So to animate these, we'll animate our white one first. Click on this white box mask, and I'm going to go to frame 60, and at frame 60 I want the box to be here. Okay, so I can add a keyframe for our center, and then at frame 40, let's go back to frame 40, I want it to be off the screen, so I can adjust now our keyframe here until it's gone. Okay, so I've just automatically added a keyframe here, the software has, and so I just move this off the screen until it disappears. So now when we play this back, this line comes in and then our box comes in. Let's do the same to the other one as well. Click on our orange box mask, and this time we'll go to frame 65, and again we'll add a center keyframe, and then we will go back to, where should we go now? Back to frame 50, and this time we'll put it the other way, somewhere like this. Okay, so let's play it back. So first of all, this comes on and this comes across, and then these two. Let's do the same thing we've done on the others as well. So we'll change our timing here. So our white box and orange box masks, go to the spline editor, and we've got here white box mask selected. And what else do we have here? Orange box mask as well. Let's turn it off for now. So this is our white box mask. Click on these two arrows to fit it. Let's move this up. Let's highlight everything by doing Command or Control A, then hitting S, and then we will move these handles to make the curve a bit more, it's a bit steeper. Okay, and then we'll do the same to the orange box mask. So again, clicking these two arrows, highlight by doing Command or Control A, and then hit S, and then grab these and move these over as well. You don't have to be perfect. Close the spline editor, and let's play this back. Okay, that looks fine. So now what we've got left is our text. Okay, so we need to animate this text. And all I'm going to do with this text is I'm going to actually just fade it in. I think it's going to be easier. So I thought I'd rename this, but we'll call this subtitle. Okay, so let's first of all change our kind of fade on our main title. So to do that, we're going to add a node after these and then use it to change the opacity. So after title, go up here and add a brightness and contrast. And coming up here to the inspector, we have these 4 buttons, RGB, so red, green and blue, and A, which is alpha. Make sure they're all selected. And then we have this gain. That way we can use it as a fade. Okay, so let's decide where we want this brightness and contrast to be. So let's go maybe to frame 60. And let's adjust here. Let's say at frame 60, I want it like this. And then let's go back to frame 50 and say I want it gone. So now let's play it back. Okay, so now it fades in just before the box finishes its journey. And then we'll do the same here. After subtitle, grab brightness and contrast and come up here and make sure RGBA are all selected. And then we'll choose a frame to start from here. So we'll go here to frame 70, and here we'll add a keyframe to say we want the gain at 1. And then we'll go back to frame 55, and here we'll say that we want the gain to 0. So play back again. Okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that. What I want to do now is to save this, and then we can use it again in another project. So to do that, let's highlight all of our nodes, right click here and go to settings and save all as, and then let's give it a name. Let's say call out titles, and just so I know what it is. And I will write in the description the directories on Windows and on Mac where you need to put these. But on a Mac, it will probably come up automatically. Maybe on Windows, it will as well. Click on Save. And then when you come back here to Templates, and then you scroll down here, or you can type, we have this call out titles Tony. So we can drag that in. And that gives us everything that we've just worked on here. So in the next tutorial, we'll be using multiple copies of this to track to a video clip. That's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from this video, and I will see you in the next one.